Hello everyone and welcome to Sharpcraft, where we help you make wiser and smarter study abroad decisions. So 2024 is a scary year. No matter which destination you talk about, US, UK, Canada, Australia, Germany, you will have opinions coming that no, don't come to US, no, don't come to Canada, no, don't come to UK. You have videos on the social media, you have your friends, your family members who are talking about that no, you should just stay in your country right now. Yes, it is a difficult situation altogether. Now in this particular environment, how do you make a decision about which country is the right one for you to study abroad in? And when I say making this decision, there are a lot of factors that need to be considered. And through this video, I'm not just only going to tell you about all those factors, but I'm going to give you a tool with the help of which you will be able to find out which country is the right country for you. So let's begin. In this video, I will be covering 5 destinations: US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and Germany. I have clubbed Australia and New Zealand together because pretty much most of the things are similar there. So let us now begin with understanding the 5 factors on which we are going to base our decision on. So the very first factor is the scope of job opportunities. Which destination has the maximum number of full-time white-collar job opportunities available? Well, I am sure that if you are someone who's looking forward to studying abroad, one of the major factors is whether you will be able to get a job, a good full-time job after you finish your studies or not. So this is going to be the first factor. The second factor that we are going to talk about is the total expense on the tuition fee. Now, tuition fee can be quite subjective. For example, there are some students who might be able to get fully funded scholarship, and there might be some students who are not interested in going to a top university, so they can find a university in which the tuition fee is as less as 7 lakh rupees or 8 lakh rupees. However, in this video, we are going to talk about top universities only. So majorly, I'm just going to compare some of the top universities in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, Germany. What's the tuition fee like? And we are going to score each one of them. Third parameter is the scope of permanent settlement. Now, if you are someone who is having immigration at the back of your mind, like if you want to study abroad for the purpose of immigrating there, like you do not want to come back to India, you have decided that I want to study, start working, and then start living in that country permanently. This is going to be another factor based on which we will be deciding which country would be the right one for you. The fourth factor is availability of part-time jobs. Now, when you talk about availability of part-time jobs, this factor is yet again quite subjective. Now, you can be someone who is not really focused on part-time jobs a lot. Let's say that you know that, okay, your finances are covered. You do not mind that even if you're not working part-time, you want to focus on your studies, then, maybe that's a good destination for you. But if you are someone who feels that, no, you will need part-time jobs in order to survive, that you will not be able to pay your bills if you do not have a part-time job, then yes, this is a factor that you should consider as well. And the fifth factor would be cultural barriers or language barriers. Now, Germany is a great country. Germany is a wonderful destination to study at. However, if you're going for a non-STEM program, let's say you're going for a management program, business program, marketing program, finding jobs can be very tough because of the language barrier. So in order to help you make a comprehensive decision, in order to help you evaluate your decision in a much better way, let me share with you a tool. So now I am about to share my screen because I have developed an Excel sheet using which you can score each one of these parameters on each one of these countries. You can add your preference to which parameter matters to you the most, and based on that, arrive at a better decision. So let's begin. So you all can download this Excel sheet as well using the link that has been given in the description. However, for now, I want you to understand how each of the countries have been ranked on each of the parameters. So starting with the score on the total tuition fee expense. So the country that has been ranked as 10 is the country where you actually spend the least amount of money in order to study at a top university. So, for example, if you want to study at a top university in the US, let's say the Harvard University, Stanford, then you will have to shell out crores of rupees. So, that is why USA has been ranked at 6. However, compared to that, if you want to study at a top university in the UK, the tuition fee is quite less as compared to a top university in the US. Similarly, if I talk about Canada, yes, the universities in Canada are expensive, but yet again, not as expensive as the universities in US and not as expensive as the universities in Australia, where you might actually end up spending 60 to 65 lakh rupees on your masters. So the country which has the highest rating is the place where you end up spending the least amount of money in terms of tuition fee. Second is job opportunities. Of course, US has the maximum number of full-time job opportunities. It is the largest economy. It has a large population. The number of opportunities that are available in the US generally beats any and every country at any given point of time. The UK has been ranked at 7, considering the fact that yes, it is a major economy. It definitely has decent number of job opportunities. Canada has been ranked at 5 because at this point of time, the job market in Canada has become super duper competitive. The economy is not doing that great. And all the students who are studying in Canada or who have recently finished their studies in Canada are struggling a lot. So for now, for 2024, Canada has been ranked at 5 in terms of full-time job opportunities. As far as Australia and New Zealand is concerned, it has always been a destination that has offered very average number of job opportunities. Both these economies are not very big, and the number of job opportunities are average. I would say below average. So let's list it at 6. Now, as far as Germany is concerned, it has decent number of job opportunities. However, the job opportunities in Germany are generally limited to people who are from STEM and at the same time, people who have good knowledge of German. Talking about part-time jobs. Now, yet again, as I mentioned, that if you're someone who values the availability of part-time jobs a lot, so you should consider this factor accordingly. As far as US is concerned, you are not allowed to work off campus in the US. So what that means is that you can only work inside the university campus. But despite of that, the students generally are able to find part-time jobs. Yes, at times the students are not able to find part-time jobs for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. But yes, most of them are able to do it. So I'm going to rank it at 6 on 10. As far as UK is concerned, well, if you have decent communication skills, if you are hustling, if you are aggressive with your part-time job search, then I have more than 100 students who have found part-time jobs within a month, within 15 days, within 20 days. So finding part-time jobs is not that big of a deal, specifically in the UK. As far as Canada is concerned, it has gotten overpopulated with students, refugee seekers, asylum seekers, which all rely on survival jobs, which all rely on part-time jobs. So yes, the number has come down to 6 on 10. A few years ago, Canada would have gotten 10 on 10, but as of today, it is only getting 6 on 10. As far as Australia and New Zealand is concerned, yes, the availability of part-time jobs is not a challenge. You can comfortably find part-time jobs in Australia and New Zealand. Most of the students are able to find decent amount of work in like 15 days, 20 days, 1 month, 2 months, depending upon your skills and depending upon the location where you are. So let's give it an 8. As far as Germany is concerned, yes, German students, the students who are studying in Germany do not struggle with part-time jobs a lot. So let's give it a 7. Let's give it a decent 7. Now, this element is about whether a particular country has any permanent long-term settlement options or not. As far as US is concerned, well, I am sure that you must have heard it in the news that the waiting for green card for Indian students and a lot of other nationalities has gone up to 100 years. So no, US does not really offer you long-term permanent settlement pathways. So we are just going to give it 1 here. As far as UK is concerned, UK offers permanent settlement pathways, but yes, those pathways are very time consuming. It takes a lot of time, around 8 years, before you can call yourself a permanent resident of the UK. And that too, if everything goes well, the policies don't change a lot. So UK gets a 6 on 10. As far as Canada is concerned, even today, Canada scores a 10 on 10 when it comes to immigration pathways. Yes, a lot depends upon what type of program you're planning to pursue and where you're planning to pursue that. For example, if you're someone who is pursuing a master's degree from a public university in Ontario, you can get the permanent residence of Canada on the same day you finish your master's degree. Did you know that? So, for that reason, what I would recommend is that if permanent settlement is something on your mind, then Canada definitely gets a 10 on 10. Next, Australia and New Zealand, they do have their immigration pathways as well. Those immigration pathways are definitely better than UK, so it is going to be 7 on 10. Germany has wonderful immigration pathways. If you are able to find a job, then the route to the German blue card is not really that tough. So Germany is going to get an 8 on 10. Now, as far as language barriers and cultural barriers are concerned, as far as US and UK, these two destinations are concerned, well, they get a 7 on 10. I am leaving 3 on 10 because we keep hearing about some incidents related to subliminal racism in the job market, or, incidents related to racism happening here and there. I'm not saying that they are, the number of them is very much, but still we hear those incidents. So let's give them a 7 and a 7. As far as Canada and Australia are concerned, these two destinations are very immigrant friendly. These countries are built by immigrants after all, so you do not really face a lot of cultural barriers, language barriers here. As far as Germany is concerned, well, yes, if you do not know the German language, the language barrier is going to be very, very real. Okay, so now this table, which is about your preferences. Now, in this table, I want you to enter what is more important to you out of 10. So let's take an example. If I talk about the score on total tuition fee expense, you have to enter a higher number here if you are on a tight budget. However, if you feel that no, I am willing to spend money on my education, it's fine that even if I have to spend, let's say, 20 lakh rupees extra or 30 lakh rupees extra, but if I get to study at a top university, then it is going to be my preference. Then in that case, I would recommend you to enter a lower number. So let's say if I am someone who wants to spend money on my education, I do not want to compromise on the ranking of the university, but at the same time, I do not want to spend like crores of rupees. Like, I am not someone who wants to sell my house in India to, sponsor my education. I want to spend money on my education, but I want it to be a reasonable amount. In that case, I'm going to give it a 7. Second, score on job opportunities. Now, for this, what I would recommend is you should all give it a 10. None of you should give it a less than 10, because yes, without job opportunities, what's the point? This is something which should be a 10 on 10 priority for all of us. Third, score on part-time jobs availability. Now, how you have to enter this number is, if you're someone who knows that I will be able to survive without part-time jobs, that I don't mind even if I don't find part-time jobs for 5 months, 6 months, that for me, I want to focus on my education more than the part-time job, then you should give it a lower number. But if you're someone who feels that no, without a part-time job, I am absolutely not going to survive, it will be very difficult for me to even, manage my day-to-day expenses, then you should give it a 10. So I would say that, let's say if you're going for a master's degree, you have some savings, you're taking an education loan, you might want to give it a 7 or you might want to give it a 10. This is absolutely based on your personal situation. So this table is the column on about your preferences is absolutely based on your personal situation. The next point is score on permanent settlement pathways. Now, if you are someone who wants to live in the country where you're planning to study permanently, like you don't see yourself returning back to India, or you don't see yourself moving to another country, you really want to live in that country permanently, then you should give it a high score. If you are someone who wants to go for higher education for the purpose of experience, working for a few years, paying back your loan and then coming back, then yes, you should be giving it a lower number. So let's say that you're someone who wants to go study, get a few years of experience, then come back to India and start a good job here, then you can give it a 5, or you can increase it or decrease it out of 10, whatever you like. Okay, now talking about the fifth parameter, which is the score on language/cultural barriers, I want you to enter a higher number here if you are likely to face a language barrier. For example, if you are someone who is going for a degree related to management or marketing or business or something related to finance, then yes, you will be facing a lot of language barrier because most of the job require you to know the local language. But if you are going for something STEM, for example, if you're going for something related to medical or if you're going for something related to computer science, cybersecurity, etc., then you should enter a lower number here. So depending upon how likely are you to face a language barrier, you should increase it or decrease it. So let's say if you're someone who just knows English as a foreign language, you do not know any other language, then I would recommend you to enter a 10 here. So now this candidate for whom these are the preferences, that is 7 on the tuition fee, 10 and 10 on part-times and full-time jobs, 5 on permanent settlement, language barriers 10. For this candidate, as of today, the right country that comes out to be is the UK. Now, if I change it a little bit, let's tweak it a little bit. Let's say if there's a candidate for whom permanent settlement is more important than 5 on 10, and let's say I give it a score of 8. Now, for this particular candidate, now he has a stiff competition between UK and Canada because they are just, the difference is just 5 points now. Similarly, let's say if permanent settlement is very important to this candidate, like this person wants to leave India, wants to settle down permanently there, then yeah, this candidate would actually be better off going to Canada. So using this particular Excel sheet, what you can do is you can arrive at your starting point. Now, when I say arriving at a starting point, what it means is that now at least you will know that which destination is going to offer you what according to your preferences. Of course, you should not be making your decision just using an Excel sheet that has been given to you. You should talk to people. If you want to talk to me, then you can WhatsApp me on the number that you are seeing on the screen right now. Or you can talk to other consultants, you can talk to the people who are living in those countries. But yes, using this method, using this formula, you will be able to arrive at a more holistic decision. Now, as far as some challenges are concerned with each and every destination, yes, for example, if you're someone who has a 3 years bachelor's degree in India, it is very difficult for you to get admitted into a top public university in Germany. So for that reason, Germany might be a destination that would just be out. And if you want to compare, let's say, two destinations, then you can use this sheet to do that as well. So I hope that this was a helpful video for you, and I hope that this tool was a helpful tool for you. Use it and do share your experience in the chat box as well, and write down the country that got the maximum score according to your preferences. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of the day and follow SharpGrad for more advice like this and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye bye.